Long time no see! Alright, let me set this up because I feel like I haven't spoken to the camera in a really long time, that I have like a little anxiety. I'm not gonna lie. So let's go. Okay, guys, it has been a while. Every time I seem to come back on, that's what the theme is. Okay, so it definitely has been a while, but I want to jump back on today because I just feel like there is so much to kind of catch up on, and there's so much ground to cover, that so much has happened this year that it was hard to kind of recollect everything that happened. You know, you can always like think of the big things happening or like remember the big moments, but to me it's really the little things that you go through every day that kind of like compound and build up, that make you reflect. So I wanted to create a theme to kind of make it easier to kind of go back and share with you guys what has happened, why I've not been doing videos here, but obviously if you follow my main job channel, it's Beauty Within, which is part of the reason why I just don't have time to do stuff here. But I'm going to be sharing with you all the things that have happened that I think have been the biggest gifts. I think throughout everything that I've done this year, it's been the biggest time of growth, creation, and elevation. So that's kind of the theme that I'm going to center this video around. So I'm going to start off and go back into like the highlights of my trip in Australia, and then I'm going to talk about Beauty Within because that's my main thing. So if you guys haven't subscribed to that, go subscribe to that. It's not just a job, it's kind of like my purpose in life. It's where I find the most suffering, gratitude, satisfaction, and pain. And with that, it has opened up so many opportunities, and I got bangs! So yes, it's kind of, I don't know, I'm still kind of getting used to it. You know that dissociative disorder or something? The first day I cut, I was like, who dis? So let's jump into Australia. Okay, so with going home, I go home once a year. That's the only time that I get to see my family. But I was able to spend my birthday there, and it was really casual. I just went over to my dad's place, picked up my sisters, and like went to the mall or the shops. Okay. This is what I'm wearing. But anyway, in Australia, you really can't dress up that much because people will think you're a little bit crazy. But anyway, dress for yourself, am I right? And let's go to the car. Phone, keys, wallet. Phone, keys, wallet. Yes. Man, it is sunny as all heck out here. So when I'm at home, I actually stay with my mom. Now I'm heading over to my dad's to get my sisters, and we're just gonna go to the store to buy some stuff. So we'll pick them up. Children!
Happy birthday.
Yay! Wait, you can't wear a white shirt and I wear a white shirt. Are we ready?
No.
What the heck? I told you 12 o'clock. Where's baby? Are you going as well?
No.
Why?
Because he doesn't love you enough to come out.
I feel like going out.
Sad, sad reality of life. No one loves me. I'm gonna make a coffee. How long do you need?
She has to blow dry her hair.
Oh my god. Bing! Sugar, sugar, how you get so fly? Why is this chair needs some serious love and oil. Mainly the latter.
It starts squeaking when you're too heavy. Just turn on all the car lights.
Yeah. A lot because it's Monday and no one comes to the store on Monday. Okay, so part of being home is meat pies. And we got 3 of them. Why?
Why don't they have those like
Okay, wait. Oh my god, oh my god.
they put one?
No, but the thing is we're missing one pivotal thing, the tomato sauce. This is also another thing. in America they give you those like sauce packets for free, like at McDonald's, but in Australia you have to pay for it. Oh my god. Oh my gosh. Demolished. Demolished. So that was basically my birthday cake, but in a meat pie form. Happy birthday to me. Happy parade.
You should have done the candle.
Oh yeah, we should have put a candle inside. And then I had a dinner at night with my mum's side of the family and we cooked and everything. And that's one thing, I really miss home cooked food. When you move out, you really appreciate what you had at home. And like when your parents would just leave you food on the kitchen and you'd be like, nah, I don't want it. But then when you move out, no one does that for you. No one cooks for you. No one helps you. You're all alone. So that was also one thing that I really, truly appreciated.
They will live very long.
Bing!
Shut up.
Every time those ponds look sweaty when it
Are they turning out swimmingly?
Yep.
Mum also has pasta. Oh, Kajuyok, man.
Anytime I'll be able to see the top of your head. I'll take some close-ups of your masterpiece.
Hey, it's like he's my boyfriend or something. I think going back this time, it was really about really appreciating the things that you can actually learn from family. So my dad also was in the process of moving house, and so I was able to kind of look at all the old things, like old pictures. It's funny seeing that little girl. I am heading to help my dad.
You have reached your destination.
Bing! Ah, look at my picture! Actually, look, it looks like Nate. You know, everyone in my video says I look like you. Ew, 你睇我鼻哥咁扁嘅.
Melbourne already.
Yeah, I look exactly the same. Oh, I remember I wanted this hair thing really bad.
Yeah, you even cry.
Yeah, that was the only thing I wanted in life at the time. Okay, so we're clearing these boxes out and I find this little notebook that I used to keep when I was like, I don't know, 7 years old. And it says, my wish list, CD player, CD player. And then wait for it at the end, an alarm clock. And then out of all things, I stick, yep, Brittany, my spirit animal. I always knew it was my spirit animal. Dolphin! Oh my goodness, this is too good. Jesus. So I'm going through my old stuff and I found this book. It's like a scrapbook that my friend made for me. It looks like the burn book. But yeah, my friend made it for me at the end of like high school or college. This is our graduation when we both graduated. Actually, I graduated. Aww. And this is when we were in university. This is my partying days when I used to go out a lot. Hopefully you have matured a little bit, Felicia. To me, I feel like we should always keep that child quality within us. And the purity and the curiosity and kind of like have an outlook on life that's quite optimistic and childlike sometimes, because that's a quality that is really hard as you grow older and, you know, things are pushed against you and you have to make certain decisions. Like, it's always good to kind of be able to step back out of your own problems. So looking back at those pictures, it just kind of reminded me of that. That was really nice, and kind of like being able to see my grandma. Actually, so after I left and came back a few months after, she was diagnosed with cancer. But, you know, she did all the chemo and thankfully she's all good now. But it just makes me really think you really have to cherish any and all relationships that you choose to have in your life. And she gave me this like Matrix looking leather jacket, which I'm so angry that I didn't take, because now that I look at the footage, it's actually kind of badass. And then we cross over to my grandma's side. Hello, Mama.
Hi.
My grandma has a leather coat for me to try. 我未見過咁長個皮褸㗎。
我度有啊。
好似 Matrix 喎。She's got this
呢個唔係好長。
mink. So fabulous.
好貴嘅。
Yoink. Me a size. What? This is so extra, yo. She says I'm cool. Am I like a Matrix? Yeah. This is so high fashion. Know what I'm saying? Know what I'm saying? Ah, do I not look like the Matrix?
You're like a spice.
But it's a dress. And it was funny because I was rocking that leather jacket in the middle of summer over there. But also my sisters, like, they are savage sometimes. They're like, they say things that cut straight to your heart and you're like, damn, could you soften it a little, children? What are we doing?
Building your bracelet.
Operation bed making. Yeah.
That's not a good name.
Why are you excited?
Because it's just a bed.
Aww. So much enthusiasm. So this is really random, but I also, on the window, because we were just moving into the house, there were a lot of like insects and stuff everywhere, and I found this ant who was moving a fly. It just kind of got me thinking. Come on, little buddy. You can do it. Oh my gosh. It's trying alternate methods. Oh my goodness, it just sumo rolled it over. Holy crap. And then, can you imagine how long it takes to do anything in the life of an ant? That is pure perseverance, I tell you. Oh, oh no. My goodness. Wait, but where does it intend to take it? Tell me your strategies, little ant. Who are you communicating to? Yeah, so that's that. It was almost like symbolic, you know? You gotta push through. You gotta just like, even if you're by yourself and no one is there to help you, if you have a task at hand, you just gotta do it. So good on that, ant. Inspo right there. I actually really enjoy the comfort of just having close people around. Like, we don't necessarily have to talk every second of the day without the need to always fill in space by talking. And obviously you get that with family, but especially with friends. Like, you don't want friends where you always have to entertain. Well, for me anyway, I can't function like that. And that's a quality that I really think helps with the growth of friendships and relationships in general. But not in a dysfunctional way, you know, if you're in a relationship and you just don't talk and you're always on your phone, I feel like that's really unhealthy. But, you know, finding the peace in silence, I really love that, which is why I'm a homebody and I'm always just at home. Okay, so that's Australia. I don't want to spend too long on that. It's just a little recap. So part of the reason why I'm always like excited to come back is because I know that there's always going to be something to do. There's always something that's unexplored that I have to, like, you know, kind of dig away at. It's like Shawshank Redemption. You're stuck in the prison and you need to like claw your way out. When you finally get to that destination, whatever it is, even though it's like arduous and painful and it takes a really long time, I feel like the destination that you're heading in, whether you know what it is or not, that is such a valuable process, and really take it as far as you want to. I think that's a great way to kind of segue into coming back to New York. For Beauty Within, looking back over this year has been exactly that. It's like growing the channel, and on the surface it seems like you're kind of doing the same thing every day. You follow a certain schedule, you need to film, you need to write scripts, you need to, you know, answer emails, you need to film B-roll, and all the B-roll, like, to me is the same. We're just like applying things in front of the mirror. You know, on the surface everything is the same, but when you put it all together, week by week, month by month, there are big changes that happen not just for me within myself, but the opportunities that arise along the way. Because, you know, while you're busy doing these little things, people are watching and people will connect and join you if they really feel that there's something they can relate to. So it's like hard to think about that while you're doing the everyday things, but it is happening simultaneously. And so if you do it and you're diligent enough for long enough, things will happen. So the next two kind of big growth and creation elevation elements was designing jewelry with Ana Luisa, and then the next one was also a speaker event that I did with Muji. So I'll talk about those two. So first thing is Ana Luisa. So it's actually this. This is the necklace and this is the bracelet that we got to create with Ana Luisa. So how it happened was they approached us and they said, we want to do a collaboration with you guys, and basically gave us all the creative freedom to do whatever we wanted. Okay, so the first thing I did was kind of think about, like, what do we want this piece to represent? And the older I get, the more I realize that there's so much to learn from our past. Because I think in order to really grow and to understand yourself as a person, you really need to look to the past. You need to look at your parental figures, whether that's your grandma or parents or whatever. You need to look back at your own past experiences and learn from that in order to make sure you don't make the same mistakes again, or if you do, like what you learn from that to take into the future to then like make every step forward the best possible. One of the most important things is also culture, you know, like your heritage, where you came from, thinking about why traditional things of the past are still here today, and really kind of like shining a light on that and putting a contemporary twist on it. I think that's so underrated, and that's kind of the foundation of this piece. So then I really like fluid rounded shapes. So then I looked at a few pictures of like ancient coins, like Asian or Chinese coins, the ones where it's normally a flat coin with a square in the middle. I was like, in terms of shapes, I think that's really interesting and something that I haven't really seen before being utilized. And then each week we would have a call with them, we'd show them our kind of idea inspiration, and then they would go and do a few sketches. And the first sketch came back as like an actual coin with the square. I wanted it to be taking elements of that but putting like a very feminine spin to it. So we kept looking at pictures, and I came across this picture of about 6 of these individual coins strewn together with a piece of string. And like I said this in my Instagram, that this is something that I would probably find in my grandma's home or in her jewelry box or something. And then I was like, what if we made this into a flower shape but kept the square in the middle? So after we got this idea of like the conjoined coins that formed a flower shape and it was slightly thick, then I was thinking about like, okay, so the sides of a coin is usually a little textured. How can we create like a distinctive quality on the side? And so there was another week of just kind of like bouncing ideas and just seeing where we could go with it. They came back with like 6 different options of the side of the coin kind of carved out. So on the surface it's very classic, it's very simple, elegant, but on the side there's just this little edge to it, literally edge. And when I saw it I was like, oh my gosh, this is awesome. When you can play on a little element of simple, I think that just really elevates it. So then it went into material stages, and man, I had no idea there were so many shades of gold. Like there were books and books of different tones of gold, ones that were more like orangey and rose gold, ones that were more lighter toned. I have kind of olive skin, so just trying on the different golds, always thinking about how this would match a very wide range of skin tones because we wanted to appeal to everyone. Eventually settled on kind of like a mid-tone, I think, of gold, which is actually a 14K gold plated brass. The cool thing is the material for this is really good quality, and they use the same materials in like high-end jewelry lines like Celine, for example. And then for the bracelet, still following along the same vein, we wanted it very simple, wearable. You can tell it's there, but it's not like in your face. And I think that subtle quality is it's just very feminine. You know, you don't want to speak so loud and be like, I'm here. Like there's a time and place for that. And so Rowena was like, let's put it on the bracelet. And so we were adjusting the sizes of these flowers, how many flowers would actually go on it. We played with different sizes. So there was like 3 big ones. Or the other option was like taking one big one and putting it on the bracelet. And then the other option was the one that we ended up going with, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 little flowers. And then we also picked like the different chains. We wanted something very delicate that would make the pendants stand out and was kind of thin, but I think that process was just so fun. And working with the Ana Luisa team, they were just so amazing. I couldn't have asked to work with a better brand. They're just so chill but professional, and they completely just understood what we wanted and was so willing to work together and bring this idea to fruition that the whole process was just so inspiring. Okay, so this year I think one of the challenges was building a set for Beauty Within. In terms of creation, like set design, I guess you would call it, is something that I have never done before, and it was just so fun. Be able to talk with the lighting people, the cameraman, and like figure out a way to kind of make it work. So I'll show you my kind of planning stages. Obviously we're on YouTube, but we're also trying to do like television quality, which means, you know, it's kind of like The View or something like that. A set was something that I was told to kind of make happen. And so given a budget of $1,000 to create a set, right? I was like, are you crazy? On $1,000? I kind of live for these kind of challenges because personally I don't like being told specifically how to do things. I like to kind of maneuver my way around and find different alternatives and routes, and then from those different alternatives find the best way forward, right? And I really kind of enjoy that process, and that's kind of how I go about everything, in a kind of haphazard, kind of casual way. It does kind of have a direction, but just on the surface it seems like it's all over the place. But so I started by adding in some pictures for inspiration. You can only go about it in a way that feels comfortable to you, right? Obviously you're thinking about how other people will feel towards it as well, but for the most part it's like, but you just have to find the healthy balance of doing something that feels right to you while also satisfying the needs and the likes of people. So I think maybe that's a hard balance for some people to get, but like for me, I'm like, all right, just gotta do it, right? It's a simple thing. You just gotta do it. So then, yeah, put together a mood board, and I knew, and the most important furniture items to really make an impact is obviously the chairs that we sit in, a table so it feels kind of like a nice, comfortable living room, and just some like stuff in the back that makes it feel homely. Because I'm a very visual person, I kind of threw all the furniture items that I wanted into Photoshop to kind of create a mock set. It's funny because how that really sketchy Photoshop attempt turned out to be was actually very close to the actual set that we ended up building. So then, yeah, oh my god, this pimple is just like living. It's having the time of its life. The time of my life. Actually, this pimple is growth, creation, elevation. That is like a symbol of this video. So we have studios, it's called the White Psyche, where it's just painted, it's like an infinity white. So this is actually what you call a white psyche, because it's just white everywhere, which is why we're going for that clean look. And then we've had to find flowers from everywhere, but look at this one. So it actually goes to sleep. These flowers close in at night and then they open during the day. So this is what we see when we sit there. Kind of, but not really, because this is what you guys will see. And just felt like, okay, white psyche is what we can do. We're not going to obviously create walls and stuff yet because we don't have a permanent space in where we film. So we actually have to like move our furniture in and out every week when we film. So it's kind of like moving house. So it had to also be really simple and easy to put together every week. We had a day where we just put everything in the studio to kind of set it all up to see whether it would work, where it needed to be, so that each week the cameramen and, you know, the lighting people would be able to know exactly where to put things, how it should be set up, because all of that factors into the filming and the production stages. So that was really fun. Like, I got a curtain for texture, the chairs turned out really well. I think looking back on that, as long as you have some sort of direction or like a visual in mind, you can really create it easily. Like, where it gets hard is if you just start like overthinking things along the way. But like for me, I just had a finite amount of money, so I knew I could only spend so much on certain items. You know, in terms of budgeting, which one was probably worth the most, which would have the most impact, which was, you know, the rug, the table, and the chairs. Everything else is like whatever. And then, yeah, you just kind of like put it together. So that is kind of a roundup of the major things that have happened within the last like 9 months. Obviously there's a lot more, and you know, every day the little steps are quite big, quite large, but just in a nutshell, you know, coming back on here after a really long time, that's kind of what I wanted to share with you guys. But thinking back and looking back, it's kind of like just appreciation in the little everyday things, taking tasks one step at a time, not getting overwhelmed, staying really true to what you think is best, because no one else can really tell you that. I think inherently we know what we should do. In those cases, every day we can move forward in a very clear, very rational, and very like compassionate mindset, thinking about what you're capable of and how certain things affect other people and how they will perceive, because they should form together very harmoniously. And so that's kind of all I really wanted to share with you guys. I know it might be a lot. I don't know how this video will turn out. And for those of you even watching this video, I know because I don't make a lot, thank you so much if you've stayed even this far to even hear me out. I'm definitely going to try and work out a way to film more, maybe just like very short vlog style pieces to kind of really get you into the nitty-gritty of the daily happenings and activities of life, because as I said, there's so much that I can talk about every day, and I hate kind of coming in here as a big boulder and just like dropping it all. It kind of like freaks me out a little bit. Maybe 2020 goals, because we're at the end of the year, is to figure out a way to do that. But that is all I have to say for this video. Let me know how you guys have been, if you have questions, if you know you vibed with anything that I said, or you also went through similar experiences, because I'm sure we all go through a lot of ups and downs on a daily basis, and you know, you're not alone. You can always DM me on my Instagram and check out all the pieces. Make sure you are subscribed to Beauty Within and also Rowena's channel, so that we can all stay connected, you know, root each other on. And I'll see you very soon. Bye!